Welcome back to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. We are now moving to our main conversation. There is unease in the All Progressive Congress in Kano, where news broke out on Monday that the party's national chairman had been suspended by the leadership of his Ganduje ward in Dawakin Tofa, local government area of the state.
Yes, his suspension by Kingsmen came a few weeks after the former governor was slammed with an 8-count charge, including corruption and misappropriation of public funds.
Announcing the decision at a press briefing, the legal advisor of Ganduje ward in Dawakin Tofa local council of the state, Haladu Gonjo, said the ex-governor remained suspended as a member of the ward until he had exonerated himself. He told journalists that executive members resolved to pass a vote of no confidence on the APC helmsman due to what he described as the former governor's inability to clear his name from a wide range of allegations of corruption, particularly the celebrated dollar video.
Yes, but less than an hour after the announcement, the Abdullahi Abbas-led state chapter described the decision as an aberration and a clear breach of the party's constitution. He countered by suspending Gwanjo and those that acted with him for 6 months, saying the participants had been found guilty of anti-party activities. Besides, the ward chairman, Ahmad Muhammad Koko, insisted on being not aware of Ganduje'S suspension.
Right, let's now look at some of the issues thrown up by the latest development. Our guest for this segment is a social commentator, Cyril Abako. Thank you so much for
Thank
staying.
you so
My
very
pleasure.
much for
Thank you.
being around. All right.
All right, so the Ganduje issue, we can go on and on talking about it, but let's look at the main or the crux of what's going on in Kano State. Some people are saying that in the first place, why is he being suspended? Because if the bribery video that went viral in 2017 is anything to go by, why is he even a minister or nominated for that position in the first place? But speak to us what this means in Kano politics.
Well, let me start by saying that there's a classic saying in politics that if your opponent is making a mistake or is making errors, don't stop him.
Okay.
He's working for your advantage. He's working in your advantage. He's advancing your interests. He's doing well. Yeah, so let him continue that error. For me, I think that the party, this should have come much earlier. The party didn't act in the best interest of its own self. Neither did it act like it was sensitive to the general morality of Nigerians. They should have known better than to appoint a man that clearly had baggage to the chairmanship of its party, not minister, national party chairman. Now, if you look at the way Ganduje came into office, he was not elected. It was some sort of consensus political arrangement. It was a political solution because obviously the former national party chairman, Abdullahi Adamu, former governor of Nasarawa State, wasn't necessarily enamored of Mr. President. Neither was his secretary, Yolo Missionary, I think. So when the president came into office, it was clear, if we can't work together, don't let us even stay together. So there was a quiet easing out. Which now, if you quietly eased out Adamu and Omisore, and you had the power, you had the ability to bring people in, I don't want to believe that Ganduje is the only loyalist the president could have trusted from the north. I don't buy it. The simple thing the president could have done was to say, of course, Ganduje is a loyalist to the president, but come on, baggage is baggage. This is politics. You don't act this way by bringing a man who actually, if not for the way our politics is even played, Ganduje'S shouldn't have dreamt of coming near that position of party chairman, national party. As a matter of fact, EFC should have gone after him once he left office. I've said it before that the EFC can investigate anybody, whether covered by immunity or not, and even indict. If the indictment is sufficient, all right, the person has a moral duty either to even resign and face charges or stay in office until his term is over. But he will have a moral baggage. He will have that moral question. Anyway, it goes, people will even avoid and ostracize him because they know that he is a man with, the evidence is clear. Look, even a court of competent jurisdiction may not be able to convict him.
Right.
Was the deed done? The evidence is on it. These are when Japanese commit harakiri. They don't have way to go to court. Did you do the deed? Your conscience should be enough to do the deed. But whatever it is, Ganduje is now party chairman, national party chairman. I think that what happened in Kano yesterday was, you may say politics, yes, but it is politics that has grounds, legal grounds to play out. Again, the question is there a case Ganduje'S has to answer? The answer is a really leaning yes. Good. Did these local government, did this council, what people have the right to suspend him based on what they feel, you know? I mean, why not? Maybe the question will be, was he given fair hearing? But we know that in Nigerian politics, given the scenario, you want to summon your national chairman to come and, when you're not a Basaki of Edo State, summon your national chairman to come and answer questions. So they suspended him, you know. But what we now saw, the counter is now where the whole issue is. So it's a crisis, really.
Right.
That the state chairmanship of the party came out and said that thing does not hold water. They did it. But again, we want to see how this plays out. Tomorrow you'll be arraigned, of course. But the state leadership came out and said no, and then suspended the people who came. The person who granted the press conference was the legal advisor of the party at the ward level. Meanwhile, the chairman of the party at that level now came out to say he didn't know anything about it. But I just feel that Ganduje shouldn't be where he is today.
All right. Yes, very, very true. Of course, this is not new to the ABC. In 2020, it equally happened at Etsako Ward 10 when Oshomole was also suspended. And of course, it's all same old, you know, the rift between him and Obaseki. And also it's happening with the Ganduje and equally the Kano State governor also. But the question is, apart from the issue of, criminal charges against Ganduje, what do you think is a little different from that of Adams Oshomole? And do you think it might possibly go the way of Adams Oshomole in this case?
Well, so the APC, you see, in Kano, as in the north, the psychology or the temperament of politics is a little different. In fact, you know that Governor Abba Yusuf, who has been accused of masterminding, or the NNP, he's not an APC member. They are in the NNPP. Kwankwaso, Abba Yusuf and co. They are in a different party, the NNPP.
Yeah.
To that extent, if Abba Yusuf had been in the APC, the possibility is that he would have been able to win the party chairman of the state over to his side, as was the case in Edo, where the governor was a member of the party and somehow had control of the party machinery.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money, but they achieve it anyway. So they say, but in the case of Kano, we are even now hearing the state party chairman saying that they have evidence of meetings between the state government, let me put it that way, and those people that impeached, that purportedly suspended Ganduje, and that they have suspended them and will charge them before a court for, so this whole thing is getting, so it will be my court case versus your court case against my men and against your men. It will be interesting to see, because ideally local sources in Kano will tell you that the APC as a party went over itself, if only to remove the NNPP government. We also how the tribunal ruled and how the appeal court later ruled, how the court gave one ruling, and we saw another judgment elsewhere. In the same judgment, we had the judgment affirming both the governor of Kaduna State and affirming the APC. They will not see this thing. Later they said it was clerical error of many paragraphs. Okay? People like even said, go and ask them where they received to read that judgment. A judgment that was referring to the red cap of the Conquasium. All those sort of shenanigans all played out. So, but one would have thought that Yusuf having been affirmed by the Supreme Court as governor of Kano State, maybe they would have just let sleeping dogs lie. But they didn't. They have to give Ganduje'S assignment, as we saw on the street. They have to keep him busy, if not to finish him off. keep him busy with the court case and with suspension. What they are doing, I don't think that the people in the NNP are naive. They are not naive. They know how all of this will end. I think that they are just playing their cards, and if only to have bargaining chip. Do you get what I mean?
Right.
So having given Ganduje in court assignment now, tomorrow they're going to arraign him in court for, imagine the APC chairman being arraigned in court.
All right. So, seriously.
It's their way of keeping him busy.
Mm-hmm.
And having him come to beg. Didn't we see this in Edo State? After the deputy governor was impeached, we thought the matter had ended there. The next thing we had was that the security post of his house has been demolished. Now we're hearing that they said it was in his house. But you see, these things have a way of sending a message. Assuming that Shaibu had to now run to come and beg and say, they're forcing him. If he comes to that beg and say, okay, I surrender. If he surrenders, it works for them. But after he surrenders, what will not be his own bargaining chip? He will lose his back and still.
Definitely.
So sometimes, if you know you can't play politics, don't even start it.
Speaking of playing politics, you had adduced in the course of the conversation that Ganduje did not or lacks the moral rectitude to be the chairman of the APC, national chairman of the APC. Again, this has the shadow on what the APC is about basically.
It does.
But for the ruling tomorrow, we are not giving any prognosis. But what do you see happen after
the arraignment?
Yes.
So first, he will be arraigned, right? I think this is what they call pre-trial, because it's a criminal case, so it's pre-trial. If I'm not a lawyer, but when he's arraigned and they read the charges out to him, they say, "How do you plead?" That is the typical, like, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? Because I'm assuming he says not guilty. Then the matter goes to trial. They now begin to prove how indeed not guilty are you. So they will follow a cross-examination. The prosecution and the defense will start cross-examining. The state government said they already have 15 witnesses who are willing to testify. That's quite a crowd, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we wait to see how tomorrow goes. From trial, we'll now begin to see how the judge rules on each of how the rulings will stand on each of the charges, and whether we're convicted or not. If it's convicted, then there'll be a sentence. If it's not convicted, then the matter might as well end there. But for what it's worth right now, I don't think Ganduje'S is a very happy man.
All right, so Mr. Cyril, permit me move off the curve for a bit. Just like we saw in the Labour Party, the crisis in the Labour Party currently rocking the party, and also with the People's Democratic Party, we're seeing the same thing with the APC also. And with the latest suspension of Ningi, which of course is causing lots of here and there, amongst amongst the northern hegemony. The question is, do you smell something in the offing, coming from the northern leaders as against the Ahmed Bola Tinubu's administration with this issue with Ganduje?
This matter the president is friends with Kwankwaso and friends with Ganduje. Kwankwaso is Ganduje'S political mentor, and they've been together for as long as God knows when. Somehow, in fact, if I remember well, what we had was that at the time Kwankwaso's term was done as governor in 2015, he wanted to have Ganduje succeeding. Excuse me. But President Buhari, then as APC candidate, wanted someone else. Kwankwaso was going to be president of Nigeria through the APC. He wanted to win the ticket.
Kwankwaso. Yes.
Buhari was also in the running. From what we learned, it was that Bodil and they came to settle the dispute. And in the end, Kwankwaso had his way, putting his deputy, Ganduje, whom he trusted, as governor. About a year or two, and maybe it's almost down the line, both men couldn't see eye to eye anymore. Kwankwaso had to leave the state. He fled. All right? Now, the Kwankwasia movement, there was an attempt to make the Ganduje'S movement overtake the Kwakwasia movement, but it didn't work. Because Kwankwaso is the de facto leader of politics in Kano State. Now, so he left the APC. He left the APC and went to join the NNPP, which he now took charge of, and brought his son-in-law to become governor of Kano State now.
Okay.
In all of these things, the president has never been in the bad books, or neither has Kwankwaso been in the bad books of the president and Kwankwaso have maintained a cordial relationship. If you recall, even when the president fled and ran to France, when the pressure was too much on him to give appointments, before he swearing in, Kwankwaso went to see him in France. How many people went there? Not many. Maybe even none. But Kwankwaso flew to France to go see the president by himself. To tell you how close both men are. Meanwhile, all along, Ganduje'S has also been friends with the president. To the extent that when the president needed a call loyalist to become APC chairman, the person he could think of making was Ganduje'S. In Aso Rock, one day after the president was sworn in, Kwankwaso and Ganduje'S were in Aso Rock, but they didn't meet face to face. When they interviewed Ganduje'S, said he wished he had seen Kwankwaso, they would have slapped him in the face. In Aso Rock, he said that there. What should really be of concern to how does the president remain the friends of two enemies? And yet.
Okay, so speaking of the president.
Yes, if it comes to the north, what I see happening is that the NNPP will attempt to spread this wing to Jigawa,
right,
to Bauchi, other neighboring states. Maybe in an attempt to become the de facto party in the north, and from there spread across to the south. You can never say never in politics, but we want to see how they play that card effectively.
So speak to how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu might or may not throw his weight, behind Ganduje, saying that Ganduje does not enjoy immunity, as it were. So
I won't be surprised if this court case didn't make any serious headway, because even for the Kano State government, I don't know if what they really are looking for is Ganduje'S conviction.
Okay.
I think that if they're looking for anything, it is that in 2027, the NNPP will retain Kano.
Okay.
I think that's the primary thing. And if there are seats they didn't win, senatorial seats, assembly seats, rep seats, they will win more.
Okay.
So even for them, I want to think that the Rohde Gandu before a judge is not really what they're looking for. But if doing that will make them to get what they're looking for, they better. So the people who shout and say they are human rights activists, they are the corruption advocates, the man should be jailed. Who told you that even the Kano government is looking to jail him? What they're really looking for is their own self-perpetuation. So if dealing with Ganduje, if Ganduje comes, is okay, you know what? Let's talk. Let's divide it. In 2027, you retain the governorship seat as national chairman of the party. And as leader of the APC in Kano State, if they can reach that kind of agreement and they follow through with it, who cares whether anybody goes to jail or not?
Very true.
Right, we've been speaking with Cyril Abaku, a consummate journalist and a social commentator. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for having you.
Thank you. Henry, so the big question remains, is our government capable, or they've decided not to do what is right?
It's a very tall question, and just like I often say, while we say all of these things and calculate what we think would be the end result, so what we're not talking about is the bearing on the common people of Kano State.
Absolutely.
There's still ailments are there. There's infrastructure decay, leadership deficit on the increase every other day, and we're not talking about all of these things. And I just hope that everything all boils down to ensuring that there's good leadership in Kano State and Nigerians in general.
And that's why we are here for you at Enterprise Morning, to talk about the issues, and not just to talk about the issue, but to proffer solutions to these issues by bringing analysts who are lettered to the core to propagate solutions. Thank you so much. That's the side of our offering today. Thank you, Mr. Cyril Abaku, for sticking with us today.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, we also appreciate you for taking out time to be with us this morning. To join us again, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us all across our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. You may also visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com for the latest. I'm Chinyere Igwe Ojo.
And I am Henry Igwe BK. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.